The man arrived at a stretch of wasteland and buried a bag of diamonds in the soil. For the first time in 10 years, he returned to his hometown. He then entered a church where his father's body was laid out. The reason he rushed back was to attend his father's funeral and to claim an inheritance worth a fortune. However, his appearance shocked everyone because they all believed he had died in Africa.
Who is that?
His hell opened up.
Dear Lord Almighty, is that your brother?
As the coffin was lowered into the ground, James murmured strange words and smeared red powder across his face, as if performing some kind of ritual. His sister kept glancing at him from time to time, which caught his attention, suggesting there were secrets between them. After the funeral, his brother-in-law stopped James.
James Delaney, is it?
Who are you?
They said you were dead.
I am. Such a shallow grave they dug for my father. Are you short of a couple of shillings?
He was buried to the depth of my love. Last year, he disgraced me.
Disgrace?
Clearly showing that their relationship was strained. Soon after, the family lawyer Eddie approached. He told Delaney that although everyone believed James had died in Africa, their father had always believed he was still alive. That was why, in the will, James was named the sole heir. But the inheritance was not money. It was a stretch of coastline called Nootka Bay. At this time, Britain and the United States were at war, making Nootka Bay a highly contested location. Whoever controlled this coastline would gain access to a crucial maritime route. Eddie warned James that it would be best to sell the land as soon as possible, otherwise it could bring deadly trouble. But James didn't seem concerned at all. Besides Britain and the United States, the East India Company also wanted to profit from the situation. They had already agreed on a price with James's brother-in-law, but James's sudden return forced the deal to be canceled.
Once the spacesuit suddenly turns white, it means there is a deadly crisis inside the body. The boy immediately flips over his palm to check, and sure enough, a mutated leech is firmly attached to the back of his hand. By the time he forcefully shakes it off, the wound on his hand has already started turning black. Moments later, his face begins to swell and his vision grows blurry. He rushes to ask his father for help, but his father remains calm and composed.
Inject yourself with a clear liquid first. Do it now.
He quickly removes the first aid kit from his back, feels around for the first dose of medication, and injects it straight into the boy's chest.
Now the second. ASAP. To your left, Katai. Left.
I can't feel my hands. Dad, I can't feel my hands.
Press it into the ground. Roll over on it and press it into the ground, Katai.
With the successful injection of the second dose, the boy finally escapes the danger. But as the father looks at his son sleeping, there is not the slightest hint of relief on his face. Because on Earth 1,000 years later, the temperature difference between day and night is extreme, and even plants have activated self-protection mechanisms. If his son cannot find a geothermal zone before nightfall, there is absolutely no chance of survival. Fortunately, as the spacesuit returns to its original color, the boy finally wakes from his coma. Only then does the father breathe a sigh of relief and begin guiding him toward the geothermal zone 10 kilometers away. They reach their destination just before night falls. But while checking their supplies, Jadine suddenly realizes that Hou-CA damaged 2 canisters during the earlier trek. Although this could very likely prevent him from reaching the final destination, he stubbornly chooses to hide the truth, for both his own life and his father's. He decides to take a gamble. What he doesn't know is that his father has already noticed.
What was I supposed to do? What did you want me to do? She gave me an order. She said no matter what, don't come out of that box. Was I supposed to just come out and die?
What do you think, Cadet? What do you think you should have done? Because really, that is all that matters. What do you think you should have done?
And why were you? She called out for you. She called your name. And you weren't there because you're never there. And you think I'm a coward? You're wrong. I'm not a coward. You're the coward. I'm not a coward.
Katai!
After saying that, Jadin turned around and jumped down. He believed he would land perfectly. But the very next second, a massive eagle appeared directly above him. Realizing he had been mistaken for prey, Jadin immediately dove downward, trying to shake off the eagle's pursuit. He then turned again and plunged into the waterfall, but he had clearly underestimated the eagle's hunting ability.
Katai!
When Jadin woke up again, he realized he had been dragged into the giant eagle's nest. At that moment, another fierce predator appeared above him, and it was a tiger. Worse still, there was more than one. People say a tiger won't eat its own cubs, but these tigers had set their sights on someone else's young. Fortunately, the giant eagle rushed in and locked into a brutal fight with one of the tigers. However, the other tigers had already climbed up. Terrified, Jaden desperately swung his weapon, but the tigers showed no interest in him at all. Instead, one of them lunged forward and bit down on a nearby chick. Overwhelmed by sympathy, Jaden immediately charged into battle with the tiger. With a single move, he sent it flying. Before he could even catch his breath, 2 more tigers rushed in. Just in time.
Get away!
The giant eagle returned, taking out one of them. The last tiger was easily dealt with by Jadine using the surrounding terrain to his advantage. Although all the tigers were eliminated, the chicks in the eagle's nest did not survive. The giant eagle let out a helpless, furious cry after losing its young, while Jadine could only turn and leave in silence. He quickly tried to contact his father, but discovered that the communicator on his arm was already damaged. It seemed the next part of the journey would have to rely on himself alone. After a full day of chaos, night began to fall. The temperature dropped sharply, and the surrounding plants rapidly froze. The color of his spacesuit slowly turned white, a clear sign that his body was nearing its limit against the extreme cold. The bandit kicks open the front door and finds a young, beautiful farm woman inside.
Look what we got for supper.
He quickly calls out to his partners, then turns back into the room. The woman is terrified. As the bandits slowly close in, she grabs a bottle and smashes it at them. At that moment, the other 2 bandits enter the house. Seeing the scene, their eyes light up. An hour later, the 3 bandits finally walk out satisfied. Before leaving, they set the house on fire. The woman staggers out of the room, trembling. She sees her husband lying in a pool of blood. Heartbroken, she buries him in tears. Afterward, she picks up a hunting rifle, determined to hunt down the bandits for revenge. Suddenly, a man on horseback approaches her head-on. Frightened, she raises the rifle. The man says he means no harm and only wants to use the well, but the woman believes he has bad intentions and is about to pull the trigger. The man snatches the rifle away, removes all the bullets, and hands the gun back to her. As he turns to leave, the woman suddenly attacks from behind. She knocks him unconscious with the rifle butt. She then picks up the bullets from the ground. But just as she is about to ride away, she notices another horse carrying a corpse. The woman immediately realizes that the man is a bounty hunter who might be able to help her get revenge. She decides to stay and quietly wait for him to wake up. Suddenly, she thinks of something. She stands up and slowly walks over to him. She takes a pistol from the bounty hunter's waist and begins practicing her shooting alone. But no matter how long she aims, she doesn't hit a single shot. Suddenly, 3 gunshots ring out. The bounty hunter wakes up and shatters nearby bowls and jars with his shots. He then orders the woman to hand over the pistol. After unloading it, he slaps her across the face. The master gunsmith plunged the red-hot barrel into icy water to quench it. Then he picked up a hammer and struck it again and again. Once the barrel took shape, he polished it carefully with a file. After that, he began crafting the firing pin, smoothing it down and assembling the parts. At this point, the revolver had taken its basic form. Finally, he loaded the gunpowder, lit the fuse, and tested it to make sure it wouldn't explode. Only then was the revolver considered complete. The woman took the custom-made gun designed just for her and began training relentlessly. She practiced her shooting stance over and over again. Even though her movement